Hello, guys. Welcome to another edition of the Simple Football Talk TV podcast. My name is Kyle Miller, and I'm joined with the usual suspects, Andrew Rigby and Stuart Muirhead. Guys, how's it going?
Not too bad at all, just apart from a blooming ruined voice.
Okay.
I'm back from our road trips from Thursday, so I'm well refreshed and ready to go.
I am just revived myself from a week of working, so I am a sweaty mess at the moment.
There's a reason we didn't
Um,
ask about your day, 'cause we don't care.
Oh,
That's why you're host of this one, because you get to ask the questions. We don't have to ask how your day was.
Is that what happens? Just Billy the host, right? Let's just swiftly move on. We are going to start with the Liverpool Aston Villa game. Guys, what do you think about this today? What do you think about it?
We'll let the Scouse lead off, will we?
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I'm not Scouse, so shut your mouth. Second of all, we just can't seem to get beat, no matter how badly we play. Or well, say badly, no matter what the circumstance, no matter how long it takes, we seem to win games. It's incredible.
Mane was on
Um,
top form again.
Mane's been in top. It's probably been one of the best of all of the front three for the whole season so
Yeah.
far. To be honest with you, he's really took over that status that Salah had
Oh, big time.
over the last 2 seasons. Not that Salah's still not pitching, and he's still doing really good. But Mane is just took off. He really has.
Yeah.
And it's as if he's gone. When I first came, I was the main man.
He's
All right,
trying
Sal,
to.
you've came in. You've had your moment. I'm
Aye.
having it back now.
He's trying to get the spotlight back on him again. Now, if we're gonna spotlight individual players, Van Dijk for me this week, just not up to scratch this week at all. He just didn't look interested. In the whole first half, he just didn't look interested in playing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're talking crap. I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Usually, I sit here and I go, okay, I'll let him have his point. This one, I'm not having. That's
didn't
just,
look interested at
that's
all.
ridiculous. He does look, no, right? The thing is, right, I know why you're saying this, and if I can understand why he's saying that because he doesn't seem to ever panic. He's so relaxed at what he does, and he gives you that impression. But he's so good at that. He's just so relaxed. Nothing ever phases him. He's a top quality centre half, and he was top quality again against Aston Villa, in my opinion.
Second half, yes, because to me, it looked like he just kind of woke up a wee bit and kind of engaged himself in the game.
Well, hang on. Okay, hang on, man. I'm gonna call you out here. Give me a point where you could say Virgil van Dijk looked like not interested.
Aston Villa's first attempt that they had to get themselves a goal when Manny had to come back to do his defensive duties. Van Dijk's just standing there, letting Manny just run around him and do his bit when that's Van Dijk's job. Whereas he just stands there, just watches as Aston Villa player just about dribbles round him.
Nah, I'm not having that.
Right, I will now stop you both there, and I'll get a wee word in before one of you kill each other live on air through the mic. I thought Liverpool were okay. I didn't think Van Dijk didn't look interested. I thought it was bad wording, Stuart, as a presenter. I'm going to call you on that. I thought Van Dijk was great. I don't think he was up to what he's usually capable of, but he doesn't have to be. He's not the only centre back out there. He doesn't have to, stretch out himself through that entire defence. I thought Villa stood up and were counted. I think the past couple of games we've said that they get beaten by City, but they didn't lie down and just let them do it. But this game, Liverpool were great. Villa were great, but Liverpool being the team they are now, it's hard to beat them, and we shouldn't be surprised that they got the result because they're a great team. Manny's on form. He was in the Ballon d'Or list, obviously, for good reasons. So scoring in the last minute, however, as expected. So I don't really have much to really say about this game.
I've got a counterpoint of what Stuart's just said. Right? I'll tell you what happens exactly, right?
Jesus, I've started a war now.
Virgil steps right. Yeah, I will because I'll defend Virgil van Dijk
Okay,
till the
maybe
very
I'll
end, right?
agree.
Okay,
I'll
no,
agree.
no, 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 no,
But
no. Let me
the
have my
words
point.
the words I
Let me
chose
make.
were not the right
No,
words.
no, 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 right? You can shut up because I'm gonna put you back in your place now, which is very
Back my
often, right?
box. Back my box.
Right, back in your box because I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly what happens, right? What happens is that Virgil steps up, and Mane, because he's come back, the lads just managed to. Mane gets in Virgil's way, if anything. So yes, Virgil steps up, and if Mane is not there, he probably will win the tackle. But because Mane's there, Virgil sort of has to get. He sort of just gets in his way, sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not having that one bit.
Okay.
That's my opinion on it. Anyway, of course you can have
Okay.
your own, but
Okay.
Okay.
I don't agree.
I am, as a presenter, I am going to let Stuart counter Rugby's counter. Stuart, do you have any more bullets in the chamber for us?
You know, I'm just gonna leave this one. I'm just gonna let this one go to bed.
All right.
That's 1-0 to me.
plenty to
Yeah,
talk
but-
about
but
in this
Rugby,
game. We've plenty to talk about through other games as well. I want
agree.
to touch on.
Um,
Yes,
um,
Liverpool had a
yes.
fantastic performance in this game. A lot of chances created, a lot of very unlucky chances. Like Van Dijk, here we go, putting in a fantastic cross for Salah. Fantastic cross into Salah, and just unfortunate that he couldn't finish that.
Yeah,
he had a lot.
definitely.
He had a lot to do there to try and finish that, and it was very unfortunate. Then
Okay.
But the
Well-
thing is, right, you know, how do you judge that Liverpool were really, really good? Because if people always say that if we don't score, we haven't played well, obviously, but that wasn't the case. Liverpool were creating a lot, even in the first half, had a couple of chances.
Yeah.
Henderson lofted the ball into the box that if Mane leaves, you wonder if Salah's got basically a tap in, but Mane's always going to go for this, and he gets very, very close to the header. To be fair,
yeah,
yeah, but Liverpool, it wasn't Aston Villa. Listen, I don't want to rip on Aston Villa because they were very impressive. They've been very impressive the last couple of
to
weeks. I've
step
said
up,
it.
and go and take the lead straight off. That
Yeah.
well done to them.
Well, I
They-
want to talk about that goal, because it's because on goals on Sunday, Chris Kamara was defending Liverpool with it. And I want to know what your thoughts are, right? So as the ball comes in, what he said, well, Liverpool's defensive line, what happens is we like to play a high line
Yep.
so that we can catch players offside because they get, and on 9 times out of 10 it works. This time it didn't
This was the
work
1 out of
because
10
you have
time.
Jordan Henderson at the back
Yep.
with 3 players on him. And
But-
Trezeguet does the right thing. He waits very late, and then he
Yeah.
makes his run. That's fair enough,
He
right?
timed it perfect just to get Henderson right off his back. It was timed perfect. I think I'm not going to put blame on Henderson for this because he should have more help at the back there.
Well, you say that right, but it's just the way Liverpool are set up with the set. That's the thing. It's just the way we are set up.
No, but
You
that's
know,
what I mean. I'm not putting blame on Henderson for the goal. You can't.
yeah.
It's because as you say, that's how the team is
I'd
set up
I would rather
defensively.
I'd rather give Aston Villa the credit because it's a quality ball in. It's
Oh,
played
yeah.
with a load of
Mhm.
pace.
He's have taken
And
advantage of.
Trezeguet only needs to get a good contact, which
Yeah.
he does, and Alisson's got no chance.
Aston Villa just took advantage of the fact that he's playing a high defence line, timed a run perfect. The free kick was like the pace of the ball in was just enough time for them to get away from Henderson. It was a fantastic way to lead the game.
It was indeed, but Liverpool. I'm sorry, right? I just don't. I've ran out of words to honestly say how proud I am of this Liverpool team because it's the 87th minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
City have just. I don't want to talk about that because we'll talk about them later, but City have just overturned their deficit.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, right, the gap's going to be down to 3 points
Yep.
for next weekend, and things are not looking good again.
No.
And the 87th minute, we get the equaliser.
Yeah.
And by the way, what a ball it is into him, by the way.
Yeah.
And the header from Robertson
Big
is just
Andy
perfect,
Robertson.
isn't it?
He just comes out of nowhere. It's not even expected from Aston Villa. Just storms in.
But look at the vision of him as well. Look at the vision of is it Salah who puts who's the one who puts it in again?
Mane.
Is it Mane?
Mane puts in.
It's just insane vision. It really is.
I know, to see Robertson running from all the way back at left mid.
It's just fantastic, isn't it? And then obviously we get the winner from the corner as well. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
But I've got a
Fuck
big
off.
point to make, and it's something that has rattled me
What's that?
ever since I've seen it. And it's this VAR goal that
I
Liverpool
was going to
don't
come to
get.
that. I was going to come to that. I was.
I'm sorry, I am furious that this
It's a
doesn't get
very,
given.
it's a very controversial point from VAR because if that was an attempt from any other game in the week, that would have been given.
How can you not give it? You can't score with your armpit. you just can't. So how can
Right,
you say that
right.
is offside?
Right,
Have you
right, 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 right. What we're going to do is, now, I'm going to say, now, it was not offside, okay? It was not offside. The whole time with the armpit thing, I seen it over Twitter before I seen any of the game. It was not offside. Bad decision. I'd say Firmino was unlucky. He was okay in this game.
He wasn't
He was
unlucky. He
unlucky.
was robbed. He was robbed.
Yes, but well, there's been a lot of robbery this week and the weeks before, so I'm
Yeah,
not surprised. I'm
but
not surprised.
Yet again.
I don't see how they have decided this is not a goal. I don't get it.
Have you seen? Have you watched the highlight for the VAR when they draw the dotted
Yes.
line and shit? Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So
And I'll bring back to Chris Kamara, what he did yesterday. He got a piece of paper, right, and measured the line that the Premier League apparently used to judge he was offside. It's not even blooming straight. It's pure cheating.
neither it is. Neither
Changing
it
this
is.
title, changing the title of this podcast to Rugby Rant.
Yo, I'm actually looking at the screenshot just now. It's the line's not straight. They've angled it.
It was not straight. It was not straight.
I've
Right.
got to be really careful here because I can't afford to lose my voice because I'm working tomorrow. I've got interviews to do tomorrow, but I'm furious with this. I don't get it, and I'm sorry. I am fully convinced that someone in Stockley Park thought I don't want Liverpool to get this goal. I'm not giving it. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Now,
It's ridiculous.
Okay.
on another point here, I'm very happy to
Oh,
see
right.
Adam Lallana getting some game time and the absolute
Yes.
sitter that he missed.
Oh well, it's bad, isn't it? It's not a good miss. It's one of those which he's just simply he thinks it's already in before he's touched the ball, and
Yeah.
he's just completely fluffed it. But yeah,
No.
it's good to see Adelana. He's getting some minutes.
I'm glad to see him getting some
Uh,
minutes, but it's going to be hard for him to keep first team when you've got
Well-
Wijnaldum and all that there. It's going to be hard for him to keep first team, but if he's going to start putting in the performance, all he needs to do is get the finishing sorted. He'll make first team again.
It's a big 2 months for Adam Lallana because he's got in January. Arguably, Liverpool could. Bella, what are you doing? Argu-
I was hitting a cup with a pencil.
yeah, I could see that.
See that, can you? Yeah.
It's a big thing for Lallana because in January, technically, Liverpool could replace him very, very easily. Lallana's got a big 2 months ahead to save his Liverpool career. I don't think the goal against United has saved it.
Mhm.
It's certainly pushed him up the pecking order because before that goal, I think he was rock bottom.
He was in obscurity. He was nowhere to be seen.
Just
But he's a quality player, Lallana. He really is. But I've always felt the last 1 or 2 years because of the injuries that he's had and whatnot that
Yeah.
he's probably missed his opportunity to be a big player for Liverpool. You know,
He may be a quality player, but he's not the quality of a player who's going to start for the European champions. At the moment, he's doing fine, but is fine good enough for the European champions?
No.
Not in my opinion, no.
No.
So I'm going to say, swiftly moving on from this game. I've
Yep.
put enough effort into this. Both of yous, Cameron.
Rats, VAR, rats.
We're going to go to the City versus Southampton game.
Mhm.
I think both teams started off all right. Aguero looked a bit frustrated.
Just a little.
Very frustrated. I actually thought that his silver hair turned grey for a moment and he was an old man suffering from some sort of illness. I
Honestly.
think with this Southampton, were very decent. I thought that's probably one of
Particularly
the
the
best
after the last
performances.
week that they've had as well.
Yeah, I think they're not. wouldn't say they bounce back because they want get a point to bounce back from
Yeah.
that
I
horrendous
agree.
display. But they've shown signs that they're now trying, I guess. I mean, City weren't at their best. City were very flat at the start, I'd say. They weren't up to par, but as
Do
soon as
you think that City are starting to feel the pressure too much?
do you know what I'm going
In
to give
what
you?
way,
I'm
like
going to
from
give you.
Liverpool?
I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you both this. Right? Do you understand the Guardiola effect? Do you understand
Yeah.
when Guardiola gets to a certain point? It's like Mourinho, for example. The reason Pep has not stayed at a team for, let's say, 5 years, for example, right? The reason why he hasn't is because he gets, in my opinion, bored.
Yeah.
Bayern,
But
he got bored. Barca, he was winning so many trophies, he got bored. City, I think he's realised he's chasing that Champions League. We all know and the frustration must be getting there. I'm not going to say there's problems in the dressing room, because I don't think there is.
no.
There's definitely not a problem in the dressing room.
But I feel as if he's going to eventually get bored and move on. And I think after this season, you never know. But I think it's getting to that time and of his structure of where he's at clubs. I think he's getting to that. I think if Liverpool go on to win the league, maybe this could be his last season, maybe it's not. But
What I would argue with that, though, is that when he did have those dominating periods, he didn't have a proper rival. He
No.
didn't. Let's be honest. None of the other obviously he had big teams to compete against, but they weren't really competing. They were going through transitional periods, if you like. And I
yes,
just feel like he is loving this rivalry with Liverpool, and that's my feeling. He loves it to pieces,
absolutely.
and that's the one
He's-
thing that could keep him. I don't think he'll go there next season at
He's
all.
actually
You
having
know.
to put effort in to keep the Man City up there and try and
Yeah.
get ahead of Liverpool.
You know, and he's enjoying this rivalry with Jurgen Klopp as well. And
Yeah.
I feel like even though he's obviously won the league a couple of times now, the Premier League, he wants to be the one that stops Liverpool from winning the league and keep this long one going. Yeah, I genuinely believe that. But I feel like the pressure is starting to mount because I don't think they'll win the league this season. I think Liverpool have got a very, very good chance. I don't want to jinx it, but I just do see Liverpool.
Yeah.
I feel like if we could beat City next weekend, I don't want to talk about that too much, but next weekend is massive. If Liverpool beat City, then City have got to keep that consistency over the next couple of months where they've basically got to go and win every game.
Mhm.
And I don't believe that would happen anyway. Even
Absolutely. I agree with you there. Now, let's talk about Ederson's blunder.
is it a blunder though?
I'd say it's a blunder.
It's
Would you not say it's a blunder?
smashed at him. And no, and to be honest with you, right? In my opinion, 9 times out of 10, he has the opportunity to catch this because there isn't anyone near him. Ward Prowse does so well. He watches the lad strike this, and he's already off. He's decided that there's going to be a rebound,
Yeah.
and because of that, so I don't know if it's a blunder. Obviously, he could do better. He probably should do better. But I think calling it a blunder's a little bit harsh. I would rather just say that Ward Prowse is just lightning quick
Yeah.
and you gotta give him full credit for that. And also, it's a
Oh no,
decent
oh no.
strike on goal as well.
Also,
Oh no,
fantastic strike. The
credit,
power
credit,
behind
credit,
it.
credit to both Southampton players for not taking anything away from that
Yeah.
because as an okay time goal, but you know, could he have stopped it? Could he have done something different, Ederson? We don't know. We're not goalkeepers. Thankfully, we're not goalkeepers.
Well,
No,
sure,
but-
he's sure can play goal.
I play
Not
in
very
goal.
well, but still can play goal.
You haven't seen me in my fives here. I'm getting better. Anyway, let's move on swiftly from
Move
that.
swiftly, yeah.
Swiftly. We're not going to get into that. Now, we're talking about Ederson. We're not going to use the word blunder. We're going to talk. We're going to say unlucky save.
Okay.
Should since Prowse has already decided that this is going to be a rebound, should the defenders of City decide that this is going to be a rebound and mark him better?
They're switched off.
They just completely
Yep.
switched off after the first shot was hit. They're just like, oh, Ederson will save it,
Did
or
they
it'll
have too much
rebound out.
trust in Edison?
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's
No,
the
I
trust in
think they
Ederson.
just, I
I
think they
think they
just switch
thought-
off.
I think they thought switch off. It'll either bounce out for a corner, or it'll go far enough out like beyond the penalty box. Like they're not anticipating a very short rebound, and for
Yeah.
I've forgotten who ran in already.
What for the Southampton goal?
Yeah, for the goal.
Prowse.
Prowse ran in. Yeah, so and Prowse already ran in at that point. He's snuck past the defence line, dead like far too easily. So
And what a moment for them as well. They're going through a
fantastic
very,
moment.
very difficult time.
To go 1-0
Oh,
up against
definitely.
City, the adrenaline rush you must get from that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But what I've been saying, right, is that I don't feel like teams go to the Etihad anymore, and they are scared still. That would be very, very arrogant to say that they aren't.
Mm.
But you do feel like teams go there and go, do you know what? We could get a couple of goals today, and we could push them all the way.
Because they want to prove the biggest team wrong.
But also, City's defense is just not as strong without Laporte and all, and
definitely not.
and without Company as well. I think he's been a massive miss this season. He
Yeah.
really has. I imagine if Company was still at City this season, I think they would have be
Company,
still level with Liverpool on points potentially.
Company and Laporte together. That'd been magic.
Having said that, though, City, to be fair to them, they as Liverpool, they show their resistance. They come out in the second half and they turn it around.
Well, they certainly do.
And it was massively needed because if City even let's talk about City drawing in this game, that would have been an 8-point gap going. And it's frightening to think that how it could have been so the gap could have been so much more after this round of fixtures. It's insane. But credit to City, they respond really well. They create some good chances. Aguero finally getting his goal. It's just a casual wee pass into the box. He just waits, and Aguero is quickest to react to the pass. It's a brilliant finish, and
It was
they're
a rocket
level.
of a pass, like it's a rocket of a good thinking from Walker to go on the ground rather than a proper chip in.
Yeah, definitely. And then speaking of Walker, gets them the winner.
The finish on the finish
But
on that.
right, we've said about Edison's blunder. For me, this is a blunder from the Southampton keeper.
Yeah, that is a blunder.
Yeah,
from
absolutely, yeah.
McCarthy. Is it McCarthy? Yeah, it's McCarthy.
Yeah,
McCarthy.
That's
which
a
is a
blunder
shame
from
because
McCarthy.
he was actually making some really, really good saves in this game, and I think he's a good
Oh no,
goalkeeper.
he was going for. He was
But
doing it amazing to keep it a draw right up until the last.
but if he stays on his line, he probably saves this shot, or Walker doesn't get a clean, strike because probably the defense aren't as flustered and whatnot. So yeah, it's an error from the goalkeeper. But doesn't Walker take it well though on
Oh
his
yeah.
left foot?
Yet again, anticipating the rebound.
Definitely.
He's-
It was
he's
definitely a much better game for Kyle Walker.
100%.
Who must be feeling the pressure with that right back position for the England squad with Trent Alexander-Arnold and all that.
Definitely.
I'll tell you what, I'm so frightened this weekend coming up.
It's going to be a tough
Because
one. Because this is the make or break before January.
It is, but there's not as much pressure. I don't feel like there's as much. There's people, right? No, sorry, I'm miswording that. People are saying there's not as much pressure on Liverpool, and the City are going to be the ones under pressure. That's not true because the Anfield crowd are going to be demanding that we win that game, or at least stop City from winning it. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric. It's going to be an insane game. It really is, and
At
hopefully
Anfield
it
as well,
lives up
isn't
to
it?
the bill. It is at Anfield as well,
That
yes.
is going to be some atmosphere.
And that's the reason we didn't play Fabinho on the weekend because he's one booking away from a suspension. So it's why we didn't play him against Villa. So fair enough.
If City win this and you go 3 points to the gap, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Liverpool.
And we've got a bit of a clustered fixtures coming up.
And
so
even then, City's got the pressure from Leicester. There's only a 2-point gap there. So if Liverpool win and Leicester win, that just changes it up completely. That Leicester are just proving my whole point wrong in the first podcast.
I mean, listen, I'm a football genius. I said to you that Leicester were a force.
Here we go.
That they proved me right.
Honestly,
But we were going to talk about another game, but shall we just move on to Leicester since we're already on the subject? Um,
Might
it.
as well.
A good win against Crystal Palace it was not a great game, but picking up 3 points again, that's all that matters. And
Yeah.
again, away, one of the most toughest places to go, Selhurst Park, against a Palace side that have picked up some really good results lately. They've got themselves up the table. It was never going to be easy, but I feel like they made it easy. Like I said, and Soyuncu getting his first goal for the club. He's looked quite good in the defence this season. It is a free header, to be fair. Probably only Miller would miss that header. Um,
Not with my forehead. I would never have missed that header.
50p head, mate.
I was wanting to say quite a good bit about this game.
Go on.
This is because as I retract my statement about Leicester, I'm actually enjoying watching.
I know we're both
them
having to
play.
retract our statements, aren't we, from the first podcast?
Yeah.
You might want you need to get out of that hole that you dug, but it might be quite difficult.
It's a heavy hole. I think Perez looked good, but not deadly. I think he done his job in a way, but he wasn't the hat trick striker that we've seen the weeks previous. I think Vardy scored like he always does. I think was that his first shot on target, his first attempt when he scored. I heard one of the commentators saying it.
Might have been.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. He's very clinical. I think Palace were rough with the tackles, and they were okay. They were trying to do what they always do with these tough teams coming at them.
Mm-hmm.
They play rough and tumble. They show them that they're always going to be there. Try threaten the players a bit, but I think Leicester, especially this season, they're looking like a top team. They're acting like a top team.
Yeah, definitely.
They're not going to roll over like some teams, but we'll get to them later on. I think obviously they're the better side in general. Johnny Evans.
I was going to come on to Johnny Evans.
I wrote this in capital letters. May I just add? Johnny Evans was threatening.
Oh yes, he was.
I think.
Now,
very nice.
He was great. And I
the...
never usually say this about Johnny Evans. I used to hate Johnny Evans. Not gonna lie. But this game, oh dear Lord, I thought he's got to score.
Position was good. Shots were good. Everything was good. Now,
great.
Johnny Evans. All I'm gonna say is yellow or red.
Yellow or red.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yellow or red.
I'm going to be controversial because I think you will say differently. I'm going to say yellow.
I'm going to say yellow. That was a genuine attempt for the ball.
Rigby, I can hear the grunting in your voice for the microphone.
I'm not ready to make my verdict yet.
Rigby,
I'm just gonna have a wee.
Gonna have another wee look at it, are you?
Rigby, it's okay. I think you've already shown your frustration at the first game, so unleash.
It just went a bit too early, just a tad bit. You can see it was a genuine attempt for the ball.
And I don't think it really. I don't know. The reason I didn't give it a red was not because it didn't look genuine. I think the things that I've seen in previous games and also in this game, I did not think it was a red. I think it was rough. Do not get me wrong. That's what Johnny Evans does. We've known that for years. Johnny Evans is quite a rough player. He's played in the Championship. He's played in the Premier League. He is rough. He's known to that environment. But I've watched it back, and I don't think it's a red.
I know. Yeah, I do remember what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yellow.
Let's make some good conversation.
Because, right, okay. Here's my. This is the reason it's yellow, right? And it's got nothing to do with, he gets ball or wherever he is. The reason it's a yellow is the Soyuncu is covering. So you cannot say that it was a goal scoring opportunity because he's first of all he's not even at the halfway line to start with, and because Soyuncu is there, it's going to be a yellow all day long. It's very naughty.
Even Evans couldn't argue with it either. There was no complaints.
But for me, yellow, yeah, definitely yellow. So lads, now are you convinced that Leicester could fight for the top four this season?
Well, the reason why I'm going to say yes mainly, and I don't know why this is the reason for mainly, but it is It's because no other teams want to get in front of them. Chelsea, the only team look like they can, and they are. I'm not being biased here, but they are. Arsenal, we'll get on to them in a moment. Tottenham, we'll get on to them also in a moment. No team wants it.
No one wants to play Leicester at the moment.
No one wants to play Leicester. No one wants to play good to get in front of Leicester. No team wants to try at the moment. I think Leicester are taking advantage, and I think they are proving, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they are a team to beat this season.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just having a look at Leicester's upcoming fixtures. So Arsenal at home next. Then we've got the international break, I believe. Then they've got Brighton, Everton, Watford, Villa, and Norwich. Now that's not a bad run-in. Couple of away games in there that could be tricky, but
They're lined up to get.
there's not many games in there where you're gonna think that Leicester are gonna drop points the way they're playing at the moment.
They're doing well. They've got a good set of games lined up to make sure that this is a good first half of the season. Because this is
Definitely.
as you said last week, the first half of the season is the make or break. That's how we decide at January when the transfer market opens what teams are going to do and also how they're going to finish in June. That's
Yeah.
This is the determining factor these next 2 months. How many?
I think when you look at Leicester now, I don't think they're feeling any pressure. Obviously, I think they're in a kind of. You can compare this to, excuse me. You can compare this to how Chelsea are also doing. I'm not going to talk about Chelsea here. I'm just making an example. They're not feeling the pressure because they don't have to. I don't think anyone went, okay, Leicester have to get Champions League. I think they're going through the motions as well. They're getting the results in, they're getting the points in, and they're just showing so much confidence. And hopefully, it continues. Because I like Leicester as a team. I don't want to do bad. I want other teams to do bad.
Muller.
For different reasons. But I think Leicester have it at the moment, and let's just hope that they don't fall off.
I'm sorry, I've got a butt in here because you've made an incredible point there, and I completely agree. So I've got a follow-up question then. Does this remind you of when Leicester won the league, when there wasn't a lot of pressure on them and they were just playing the way they wanted and they just kept winning and winning and winning and getting good results? Do you think if Liverpool and Man City weren't as dominant as they are now, this could have been another fight for the title for Leicester? Is he disconnected, has he? His mic's gone, I believe. Has your mic gone, Mella?
No, he's still there. He's just on top.
Well, I'll answer. I'll put my point across. I think yes.
What was the question?
I was saying that the way Leicester are playing, they have got a lot of teams around them that are really giving them a lot to worry about. Is it like when they won the title? Obviously, they're not going for the title this time, but they're playing with that lack of fear. They're playing with that ruthlessness in front of goal. Vardy's firing again. It's a bit like that. And if Liverpool and City weren't as dominant as they are, could Leicester be fighting for the title again? It feels like that to me, which is why I'm so convinced that Leicester are going to be, if not in the top four, about fifth or sixth, definitely.
I think Leicester will finish third if they keep playing the way they're playing.
Well, it's very early to say, but
there's no harm in saying that they might finish second. We need to wait and see how Liverpool City go on this weekend.
That's a bit too much to say there.
It's not.
I think that's in theory, yes.
In theory,
but City are so much stronger, and they will have that period where they're going to win 7, 8, 9 in a row. It's going to happen. They're so good.
I think wait and see how Liverpool City go on, because that will then boost Leicester's morale. If Liverpool win, that will just boost Leicester's morale. We're into second. We need to maintain this.
Suppose. Well, let's move on to Chelsea, who are potentially Leicester's proper competition, really, because the other teams around them aren't picking up points regularly. Chelsea are, and it was another solid win, in my opinion, against Watford. But there is I'm sorry, I'm bringing VAR back into this because I'm fuming once again. How
Alright.
the heck have they given a penalty for that Deulofeu dive? It's such
Um,
a dive. Contact, 2 seconds later, then he goes down. He composes himself and then he goes down. They've gone to VAR and then they've given it. I don't understand anymore.
he didn't really compose himself. He managed to get another 2 strides in. He was already on his way to the floor. There was
It's a
contact,
poor
yes,
decision.
but I don't think enough for a penalty.
Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think referees are doing with VAR? Now I've seen so many, and I wasn't actually that upset about the penalty. I probably would have been if Watford got points from it.
Hmm.
But I'm going to say referees and VAR, they do not know how to work with each other. They either make the decision right, they either make the decision wrong, they either get it so wrong
Mhm.
that how can you actually look at it and go, okay, that's the correct decision or that's wrong? Like, how do they have eyes? Is the technology broke? What is going on?
Well,
Like,
what I'd argue with that is that, this is the one point I do agree with AR is they need time to get that relationship. They do need to get the time. The problem with AR is that they're just horrendously getting this. They were meant to come in and rectify these clear and obvious errors that the ref
Well, the ref
makes.
didn't give a penalty. He didn't give a penalty. It was overruled by VAR.
I just don't. I honestly don't. I think they're so nervous now. They just don't know what to give and what not to give.
do you, do
There is
you,
contact. There is contact. I'm rewatching it, but it's
there
just
is
so
this.
delayed, isn't it?
It's delayed, yeah.
There is the slightest bit of contact, right? But here's the thing: I actually seen a tweet, funnily enough, a tweet from Guy Lineker, who,
Yes.
let's say, a good choice of words, is not a fan of
I
VR.
think I know which tweet you're gonna say, but go on.
No, I'm not going to read it out. I cannot be bothered with Guy Lineker, but I did
Oh
take the
wow.
time to read this tweet, and he's finding it frustrating. I think every football fan, if you're neutral, you would support the team that get messed up with it because every team's get messed up with it.
Jamie Carragher came out, didn't he, yesterday, and just said that
Oh,
I want VAR taken out. And he's been one of the massive pro VAR speakers, if you like.
Mhm.
I think the a majority of people are out simply because they think of football as the football they've been watching all their life. I don't think they want a lot of change. And there's a few people that do want it, but coming from coming from the podcast that we've done, we
Mhm.
spent a lot of time talking about mostly how VR has not worked
Mhm.
properly.
The problem we've got though is we can't get rid of it if we want it to work. We have to bear with it and allow them to make their changes as
I don't.
the game
I don't.
progresses.
I'm gonna give my opinion. I don't want it to work, simply because it is horrible right now. I don't
Oh, but it's
see.
horrible
see
now. But
right,
what if it
right,
works
right.
further down the line? But it's a smooth game, everything keeps flowing, and all they do is a very quick, like they're almost replaying
Right.
they're almost watching it like 5 seconds behind the game's actually getting done, so they can make those decisions instantly.
Right, but see, right now, we all know how impatient fans are, how impatient Premier League fans are,
That's what I
how
mean.
I
impatient,
don't think
how
it's
impatient
so
everyone
much
is.
of the impatience. It's the lack of communication. The fans don't know what's going on. I actually don't think VAR have really took very long making their decisions. I think they've, I've not done too bad on that point, to be honest with you.
I
But
don't
there's
think
just no communication with the fans.
Mhm.
they don't take too long to make decisions. They just don't make the right decisions most of the time. They do make some decisions, don't get me wrong. They do, in games that we'll talk to in a second, but there's too many mistakes right now. And I know it's teething period, but
If
it's but as we're talking about in other podcasts, it's okay in other countries
Yeah.
most of the time. It's the way it's been. It's not. I don't think it's VR in itself. I think it's the way it's being used.
You think it should be because obviously I think you commented. I don't know how it works in other countries. I think you commented last week that the ref, if he's unsure, can just go over to the dugout and watch a screen
Yes. How hard is that? Going and looking
rather
at a computer
than
and making a decision.
rather than having to have a control box tell you and having to pause the game.
Yeah.
If the ref's confident in the decision, that's the decision. He is the
He's
referee.
he's the referee. It's his profession.
So
He
he
that
should
is
only
not
be
as if,
having to call that up if he's
it's
not
not as,
sure.
yeah. It's not as if the referee's a butcher. He's a part-time referee, right? That is his profession. If he makes a decision, right, and then he needs to go look at it back on a computer monitor and go, okay, that was the right decision. Okay, that was the wrong decision. Then good. I don't think we need a system
No.
to take full control. I think if it records it, which it does, of course it does, shows you if you did wrong, and then go, okay, did wrong. This is VAR. It's correcting me. But we don't need it to take full control
No,
because
because
that's where it's getting wrong.
It worked well in the World Cup when they had it.
Yeah, there was no problem. I don't think
because that's when they were using it how the other countries were using it. If
It
the ref
worked
wasn't
well.
sure, if the ref wasn't sure, he was just going to go to the screen and replaying it.
There was more mistakes in the first week of VAR than the whole World Cup.
It worked well, but the problem was that the World Cup it did take far too long. That's the problem with. Although I feel like that's how it should work, what I have to take the point of is that takes far too long for the referee to jog over, watch it himself. That just takes far too long.
I know that's
So-
why the Premier League's doing this, so the referee doesn't have to jog over.
And in theory, this way could work so well.
That's why
But
I'm
these
saying
type of
we need to
decisions,
give it
right?
time.
De La Fea's been tripped, right? But he's stayed on his feet and he's lunged for the ball to try to keep it in, realizes he's not going to, and then he's going down holding his blooming ankle, which is the wrong blooming ankle to start with that he's holding. So yeah. But moving on from, I mean, unless someone wants to talk about VR anymore, I certainly don't. It's like talking about blooming Brexit at times.
I want to go to Manchester United here.
Well, what I was going to say was moving on from the stupid VR and stupid Delphi, no real tears. Let's get on. I'm now as a Chelsea fan. I'm going to get on to Jorginho's ball for the Abraham goal.
Beautiful.
It was one of the Pirlo-esque, if you will, a lovely ball.
This is the Jorginho that you bought. This is why you bought it.
Now, I'm not going to be a stupid flip-flop fan that goes, oh, that's 50 million. That is what we paid that money for. Now, the biggest criticism Chelsea fans had of Jorginho was he didn't get a lot of assists, but that's because when he hit balls in, great balls in, players weren't finishing it off.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? We have a striker this season, players that are finishing their dinner. And this season, we are seeing Jorginho at his best because he has players who are finishing their dinner. Now,
I mean, straight away, the commentators were saying that's ball of the week.
Yeah, we can't just say it was only the through ball, the best part,
but as
the
they
goal,
said,
mainly because it was.
But as they said that he's made that decision though, 2 or 3 passes before he's even got the ball, that he's made that decision.
Yes,
I'm gonna whip this in, and Abraham's looking as well, and he knows that's gonna happen as well.
You can tell they're practicing this now.
Abraham is so alert to it; it's unbelievable. You can see
Definitely.
He's a big boy. He's got a lot of pace. You can see him just run onto it, and the finish.
It's a beauty finish.
Poetic ass finish.
Definitely.
And, I would say going on to the game, the rest of the game before the pure switch was, okay. I think it was quite Chelsea dominated most of the game. Watford had little spittles, but Watford are still looking like the team that they are just now, still without a win in the Premier League season.
Yeah.
Still lacking. I'd not say ambition, but they're lacking killer instinct, which is the reason why they're not to win this.
They're lacking a bit of confidence that you need, especially at home.
A cringe saying they've not got the gravy. But the Chelsea goal was, your typical team goal. See, a lot of goals I see. Pulisic with a goal, another good bit of confidence for the boy.
Yeah.
And Abraham assist.
Abraham assist, a man of the match performance.
But it's such poor defending. He can't be given. He can't. First get that type of space to start with, and then have so much space to pick out Blum and Pulis. It's just it's horrendous.
And
and
fantastic effort from Mount though.
Sorry?
indeed.
Mount's,
The one that had the
Mount's
post
strike,
crossbar.
Aye, the Ben Foster save and then off the crossbar.
Yeah.
He had a
Yeah.
great game, Foster.
In fact, this is what I actually was going to say. I forgot. That's what I'm going to say. The best part of this whole entire game was not even the Jorginho ball in Abraham goal. It was not the Pulisic tap-in. It was what happened at the very end. Do you recall what happened at the very end?
Ben Foster nearly heading it in.
Oh, bone.
And King Kepa with a save. Oh, here we go. That was amazing.
Mhm.
Did you see the stat that Jesse Lingard has the same number of shots on target as Ben Foster now? But what a header! What a header! It would have been an incredible story, and I love Ben Foster. I think he's so
Aye.
underrated. He really is, and
He-
it's probably
he's-
unlucky in his career not to have been picked up by one of the top boys. But unfortunately, there's not been many times where the top team has needed a goalkeeper.
Ben Foster's your typical veteran goalkeeper, like Tim Howard and
Yeah.
people before him. He's a typical veteran who,
Yeah.
you know, he's still a great goalkeeper playing at the top level. May not be the best teams, right? But you know that he's one of that
Yeah.
top drawer goalkeeper. And when I seen that ball go in, and I seen that header, I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
no! If he scores it, I'm going to get roasted in this podcast. I'm going to get destroyed. But my boy Kepa saved me, and what a save it was! You could see at the very end.
Yeah,
when
it's
the
good
whistle
save
blew,
from Kappa.
that Ben Foster obviously, embracing Kepa at the end, goalkeeper to goalkeeper, rightfully so.
Kappa's had a good season so far.
He really has. I think this has been his best season.
Well, it's only his second season, so it's not
yeah.
exactly many to choose from.
yeah. But already, and we did, win things as well. So it's really we're only 2/3 left of this season. So you know what I'm saying, that already it's his best season. That he has kicked on. He's matured to the league.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that he didn't mature, but there was a little bit of controversy last season with him. But this season he stood up and he's proven that he's a team player, and that he's not, as some Chelsea fans will say, the best coach we've ever had, the best manager we've ever had.
Yeah.
Putting some banter on there with a famous Sari, but no, he had a great performance. Pulisic had a good performance. Abraham great again, scoring. Jorginho amazing, and all round great performance. I wouldn't say it was nervy. It wasn't your typical 2-1.
No, it definitely was. No.
It was if it did end 2-0, for example, I'd go, okay, 2-0 could have been 3, but it was not. It was the scoreline was not a reflection of the game. I think we've shown that we're just gonna keep getting stronger. And I've said this in podcasts. I think we will dip, but right now, just let it be.
Yeah.
Just let it be.
No.
Well, it was a good day. Good day for Chelsea. Very good day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next game, let's go to Manchester United with the 1-0 loss to Bournemouth. Now, I'm going to drive
please give me the
straight
floor.
in. No.
Boys,
I'll give you the floor in a second.
Let us
Alright, sure. Okay, go on then. Go on.
Okay.
I don't even know where to start with this game. There's a good few bits.
I do, but I'll let you go.
I'm gonna go straight to the goal.
Okay.
Let's just reflect on the defending issues that Man United seem to have here. And the
Defending
fact...
issues? No.
With an £80 million signing in centre half,
and
surely, no, you're talking rubbish.
How in the world does King get allowed that much space with 4 defenders standing round him?
First of all, to also have the timing, to also have it on his chest, to also flick it through his head.
Flick it through his head,
Yeah.
turn round.
Oh my god, that is
Belter
just
a goal though.
I said it was abysmal defending. I said it was great from King. Can't take anything away from him.
Oh, you can't.
But United's defending was abysmal. Why could they not have that defending against Chelsea in the cup? I do not know.
But where
There's
was
a
the
definite.
attacks? Like, there was just no finishing from the attack this week at all.
Joe, I also said, I'll let you jump to a second before I lose my train of thought. I said it was a typical United performance in the league. No consistency.
Yeah.
They just looked flat, and teams like Bournemouth will take advantage. So
Bournemouth
there's
could have won
nothing
this
more.
very easily, 3-0. Very easily. The defence was just nowhere to be seen. De Gea was really saving them from a higher loss.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you're going away from and you're playing like that. You're going to get slapped up or
Like,
worse.
you can see how annoyed De Gea is at the goal. Like, you can just see the furiosity in his face with his
I'm
defence.
I'm surprised he's not felt like this. He probably has. I'm surprised he's not just went. What is this? Why do I need to be like? Is this going to make me the best goalkeeper in the world? Just me saving them all the time?
I know.
Does he want like in his mind? Is he looking at okay? I'll stay at United for the money, which most players will do. Does he have ambition to leave and actually prove to be a great goalkeeper? He's not going to get a lot of clean sheets this season. He's not.
No, he's not.
It's not his. It's not his fault.
It's down
I mean,
to his
it's his.
defenders.
I mean, it's his fault sometimes. You can't just say it's not.
But it's down,
But
a good defence is your defenders and your goalkeeper. So they need to
you
sort
can't.
out.
It also proves now. This is where people say, "Oh, Liverpool are this and that because they spent the money on a defender." It's the type. It's the way they defend. The amount of money you spend in the defender. Because look, Maguire costs what 75 million more.
He needs help, Maguire. He needs a proper centre half next to him
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
he could develop a relationship with.
Yeah.
Lindelof has nothing to offer that defence.
Which is a shame because the first game of the season against Chelsea, I thought those two looked pretty good together, but they haven't. Apart from that game, I can't really defend them really at
No.
all.
No. Lindelof just was a hit and miss. He's a hit and miss all the time. He is what this United team is. No consistency,
Yeah.
flat,
Well, United,
disappointing.
United are 10th now,
Just
and they
not
are
good at all,
7 points behind Leicester City.
Where they should be, rightfully so. Where they should be.
And
Yeah.
I
mean,
think that is it.
uh,
Keep talking.
fantastic wee player this Daniel James is. I've been noticing him.
Oh,
What a player he is. What a shot he had right at the start. Andreas' poor cross in from the free kick. Poorly cleared, and then James connects with an almighty strike. And genuinely, what a strike he had on goal. It was unfortunate that didn't go in. He even had another chance later on as well, which, yeah, again, should have gone in. He just needs to work on his finishing, maybe try to get it to a corner rather than down the middle. But
yeah.
he's going to be some player. I don't think he belongs at United. Someone else needs to snatch him up so he can get a bit of time to shine here.
See, I'm going to actually disagree with that. I think he does belong at United. Not going to put a dig at me. Belongs to be a team that are just going down the table. I think once United get their act together, which we've been saying this for years, but the way they played right against Chelsea, and I've not forgotten a performance. Don't think I ever will. Why can't if they play like that every single week, which is hard to do? I'm not going to say they should be, but if they played that way, if James played the way he did when he first came on as well,
Yeah.
James belongs in a team that plays that well.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But I don't think somebody's natural. Not way too early. I think it's going to be a long time before he gets out his contract, or whatever, or even wants to leave or decides to leave.
yeah, again, it
When
comes down to
when United play really, really well, which they do sometimes, James shines.
Yeah, no, he does. He plays a lot of good balls in for Rashford. He even has his own time to shine, likes of the Bournemouth game. He was just unlucky. But yeah, again, Joe. Yeah, again, I'm gonna have to retract another statement there of Daniel James, because maybe you're right. Maybe this is the right team once the defense is sorted out for United, and we get this link up with Maguire.
I think he's a part of it, not a golden era because that's the wrong word, and I think he's a part of something the rebuilding process, if you will. Which
Yes.
United are most known for rebuilding processes because they rebuild every single season.
Yeah.
Again, there's no consistency of the rebuild.
No.
One rebuild, there's not two rebuilds, there's not three. There's at least been 4 or 5 or 6 or 7
I think
since Sir Alex has left.
Since Sir
But
Alex
I've-
has left,
yeah.
because when Sir Alex was there, if he did a rebuild, it was done within 2 or 3 weeks. He knew what he wanted to do, and then he just had to tweak it.
It was done with a few transfer windows,
Yeah, that
not a
was
few
it.
years.
No, but even just a few weeks. A few weeks after he's bought these players, and that's the transfer window closed, and he's thought, right, okay, I've got the players. I just need to tweak this a little. Once he
Do you
tweaked it a
mean
little,
do you mean by a few weeks? Do you mean a pre-season? Do you mean like a
right,
pre-season process?
Yeah, the pre-season process, or even just from January as well. Give it that.
Yeah,
Full month of
I'd agree with
January
that.
for your transfer window, and during that time, although you've got 4 weeks of games in there, he's using those 4 weeks of games to buy players, put them in the right place, get them in the right position, and
Yeah.
you would see the result come off the back of it, because he would
Yeah,
win the title,
yeah.
he would get nearly the triple.
Yeah.
I
I
I
think.
I just say
with-
the building process is still going. We're gonna have to give
Yeah.
we're gonna have to
Yeah.
give this another season. I think we'll see what happens in
Yeah.
January. Although United's focus needs to be their defense.
Yeah, well, swiftly moving on for this game, but as I didn't write a lot for this game. I think we've covered most of that.
I want to give Bournemouth some credit.
Oh, they
Okay.
played fantastic. They had a great
No, they
game.
did. No, they did.
I'm not putting Bournemouth down at all. They took advantage of a poor United defense. They took big advantage
They
of it.
came into this game. They weren't scared of United one bit. Were they?
No.
They knew they were confident of beating United, and they did.
Yet
And fair
again,
play to them.
yet again, the same as what was demonstrated in the City game. These teams are coming into these games, like Southampton, and thinking, we need to prove these big teams wrong.
Yeah,
United's still a
100%.
big team.
Yeah.
United, no doubt
Yeah.
about it. United's still a big team. There's a lot of money there. A lot of players are coming up the ranks. And
Yeah,
they have to be coming into these games and thinking, we need to prove these big teams wrong. We need to go in here and give them a bloody good fight. And Bournemouth come
Yeah.
out on top this time. So,
Okay, so swiftly moving on. I'm thinking most about timing here, and I'm going to choose this game, these two games specifically. The next for the timing, I'm going to go with Sheffield versus Burnley.
what a game.
What did you think about this?
3-0 in the
fair
first.
play, Sheffield United.
3-0 in the first half.
I legit wrote 2 lines for this. But Burnley were dominated,
Poor.
but it wasn't. They just had. There was just nothing there.
Mm.
I think Sheffield United, where the display was the best display I've actually seen them. I think the 3-0
Certainly
reflects that.
attacking wise.
Attacking wise, perfect. I think their goals were great. There was no stupid wee tap ins or unlucky
No.
things or VAR.
Great finish.
This was a game that I watched watched the highlights because I didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights. There's no complaints with this game. You know, it was a game where you knew who the better team was. You knew who the team who has problems is, and you know what team out of both of these are going to have a better season. We all know that. I think Burnley have fell flat on their face. I think Sheffield new to the we're going to want to make an impression.
Sheffield
the-
played like a proper top team this week.
They had. See, when you look at the players they have, they've got big boys that they're strong, fast. They've got a team
Mhm.
that look like they have ambition to go up the table. They look like a team that have the mentality that the big teams should have, like Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United, etc. They have a mentality of a team that wants to keep climbing, not a team that's going to want to
Yeah.
solidify a certain position at the table to stay up, etc. Like let's get comfortable at 11, comfortable at 12, for example. They're not thinking about that.
Mhm.
They want to keep moving up the board.
Definitely.
And that's why I think they're going to have a great season. I didn't really have a lot to say about this. Great goals.
Muset's we flick on 2 times.
Oh,
Two
Yeah.
times.
Oh,
Not just once.
Okay, hang on, mate. I'm not
twice.
giving him credit for the second one. He just fluffed his lines there. But for the first one, I'll give him it. Second one, he can get lost.
the John Fleck goal was excellent.
Yeah, fantastic.
They were all good goals.
Yeah, and the other game that I chose as a part of this two-hitter was Brighton versus Norwich.
Mm-hmm.
Again, quite similar. I thought Norwich were lucky to only lose 2-0. I think Tim Krul and our veteran, as I said earlier, but Ben Foster, I think Krul showed his class that he's shown throughout his career. Great goalkeeper. Was unlucky with the 2 goals you can see. He wasn't helped out as much from his defence.
Yeah, again, it's not that
Almost
Norwich
no-
didn't have the
al-
chances. They had a chance right at the start with the chipping and it off the bar, but
Yeah,
It's just-
when you look at things like that, Teti almost scored. I was like, oh my god, that is abysmal.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't abysmal. A wee try. It was terrible. It was not as bad as that. It was just not a good decision from him. Brighton were great. You know, they're whipping those balls in. They're great for the set pieces. Just as you'll see from the last goal. You know, the Trossard's goal was good finish.
Mm.
But really bad defending for the second goal. The Duffy goal. Just didn't really see
They're in
Norwich
trouble.
as
They need the problem with Norwich, right, is that they can play some of the best football in the league. They at the times they can. The problem is that is not going to keep you in the league, and
it's
they have
not.
got to start getting solid at the back because otherwise they are not staying in this league.
I think I've said this to you before. I think when we look back at the result against City, I would rather them grind out points, grind out results in 3 games instead of winning one big game against a big team. You need to grind out points
Yeah.
against teams that are also in positions as you are in as well. If you're losing to teams that you're competing against to stay in the league, you're not going to stay up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a given. And like beating City, fantastic. What do you do? That's 3 points. That's only 3 points. You need at least 35 to 40 points to stay up.
That's what the people say is like your safety margin. Yeah.
That's what people say. But like, what's that? What's that 3 points against City going to do at the end of the season if we're not getting these results now? It will do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So they need to get out of that bubble. They need to start They need to start knowing where they're at. They need to start get the finger out and get results. Because I like Norwich. They keep bouncing down the leagues, and they're not finding, what most teams do. Like Southampton, when they came up and they had the youth academy, they found investment. They done what they had to do to stay up. But Norwich are that kind of team that they're in that running to get relegated, and they're showing it just now. They don't look like they're going to change it. They're not as bad as Watford. Not as bad as Watford, but at least Watford, sometimes they look like they're going just for the points.
Yeah.
Not
Well, Norwich are 4 points off. Are 4 points off safety at this stage of the season, which is not great. But that can obviously be overturned by a couple of results.
Yeah, they could have a great after Christmas period like some teams do, but right now I don't see it. But I hope they prove me wrong.
Now,
Um,
I want to save
go on,
best
Sean.
for last.
Well, we've still got a couple of games still to
That's what I'm
talk about.
saying.
We've avoided
Yeah.
I want to save
North
best for
London
last.
side.
I want to save best for last. I wanted to go to Arsenal.
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
We're saving-
Surprisingly, I don't have a lot to say about this game.
Surprisingly,
You know I usually like to dig in at Arsenal. Do you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say one little thing and just pass it straight on. I am not surprised that this happened. I am not surprised that they dropped points. I'm not surprised that Aubameyang scored and attempted to save them and get the win, because he's the only player that actually looks like he wants to do something clinically. I think their fans are also frustrated.
Yeah.
It's just a typical Arsenal performance.
Am I the only?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Am I the only one that could have seen Wolves winning that right at the end?
Yep. I thought they were going to win it.
I
thought they were-
thought Diogo had it.
They were the better side. They had more shots. They had 25 shots, and Arsenal had 10 or something, or maybe more.
mm-hmm.
They were. It's not as if they just went and got and got a draw and snaked at a draw, they were the better team.
Mhm.
Let's not just take Arsenal as Arsenal because Arsenal say that they were robbed or whatever. Wolves dominated most of that game.
Yeah, no, they did. They,
Let's not get that twisted.
I think the only thing I saw Arsenal do good was right at the start for Aubameyang's finish.
That's what they usually do. The thing that Arsenal do is, and this is how very typical of them, they do okay and great at the start. They then, this is what I said about Emery last week. They get to they then go for half time. I don't know what Emery says. They then come out at the second half, and they just look like nothing's there. They don't look like they've got a game plan. They make bad substitutions. You know, Torreira's not playing his natural position. He's playing more in the diamond. You then have him then getting taken off, which I thought shouldn't have happened. You know, the thing that I did not think in this game, that the Xhaka whole situation from last week, I think I forgot about that completely. Obviously,
the Arsenal fans haven't.
Yeah, the Arsenal fans haven't. Obviously, I think he didn't play. Obviously, because he should never have played. I think I don't think he would have made any difference whatsoever.
Did you see the joke? Did you see the statement that Xhaka put out on Thursday?
No.
4 days after.
Excuses, lies, excuses. Literally, that whole statement that could have been written in 5 minutes.
I didn't even see the statement.
I seen it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I'll have a look after.
He's talking about standing together and all that. But what you did was terrible.
His ghostwriter wrote that while he was still in the changing room.
I don't want to get a lot into the situation. We went in depth about it last week.
One thing we should go into depth though is, and I think we mentioned it a little bit last week, a lot of Arsenal fans have had enough now. They don't see change with Emery and they want him out.
Yep, yeah. Emery out. Yep, Emery out. I've seen the hashtags over Twitter, Facebook, and everything. They don't want him here.
Did I see someone say they want Wenger back? Did I say that?
Yeah, do you know what? No, I'll tell you what. That was on 606 because I had the radio on. and this guy just said, right, I'm gonna say something very controversial here, but I want Wenger back. And honestly, the I can't remember his name who hosts it off the top of my head. He could not believe what he was hearing. It was just fantastic.
Could you imagine having Wenger back?
No.
I mean, yeah.
In fact, if he did go back, maybe they get relegated.
Or he's refreshed. He could go again and get be successful with them again. But that won't happen. That ship has sailed. He's not going to come back again.
I think with the Arsenal game, I don't much really more to talk about the Arsenal game. But what has been going on with Arsenal is you have heard the rumours. A lot of fans are saying, Mourinho and all that. Apparently, he's coming in, which I don't think is going to happen.
No, that's not going to
happen. Do you know what a name that did come across from an Arsenal fan, and I think this would be an incredible appointment. Wolves, Nuno Santo.
He'd be stupid to go to Arsenal.
What an appointment that would be.
That'd be a great appointment. I don't think there's one better at the moment where they're going.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves look like a really good team. A decent result as well. Arguably should have won the game.
I mean, do you think Allegri's looking at this job and going, licking his lips? No. Yeah. Do you think Mourinho's looking at that and going, Nope. Mourinho's been down that road. He's went to a different Premier League team. He did have some success, but he's not going to go to Arsenal. Let's all be honest here. That's not happening. I don't think a lot of Arsenal fans would accept it. I think he was Wenger's arch nemesis at a point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think.
I personally think the Arsenal fans would love him at Mourinho to come in, but
they'd
probably not going to happen. It won't happen.
They'd be lucky to have him.
I think Eddie Howe or Nuno Santo are the top two that they need to go after if they're going to get rid of Emery.
I don't think Arsenal are ready for Eddie Howe.
What do you mean?
I think he'd be a perfect appointment, but I think Arsenal are way too impatient.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so. Not saying that they shouldn't be, because I think, in their current situation, I'd be But Eddie Howe's not a manager who's going to come straight in and give them success. It's a rebuilding
But
period.
that's not what Arsenal want. Arsenal just want to be solid and playing good football. And at the moment, they're not doing that. They're just so poor at the back. So, but anyway, let's move on from the Arsenal. Let's go to
Yeah.
the other
West
top
Ham.
London side that played. Oh, you want to West Ham first?
West
Okay,
Ham
well,
first.
what's
We're
up about
leaving
West Ham?
best till last. We're leaving best till last.
Save best last year. On you go.
So
How can Spurs Everton the best to
That's
last?
best
That is
till
the
last.
that is the best till last. Come on.
That is
the
100%
All right,
best till
best till
all
last.
right. Your words, not mine.
You-
Anyway, yeah,
Here we go.
West
So-
Ham game was arguably one of the best games of the weekend.
It was
Yeah, but for different reasons.
to go 3-0 up Newcastle, 3-2 West Ham. A fantastic finish from my fellow Scotsman Snodgrass.
But Newcastle held on.
They held on, only just though.
Only just, but it's a huge away win for them.
Oh, massive!
Jo-
Can you imagine if Anderson scored the overhead kick?
Yeah, that would have been something, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would have been
No,
naughty.
Joe, I actually had quite a good bit to say about this game. A lot, actually, being trapped in the statement, I said a lot about the Everton talking about a lot to say about this. I think the Shelby free kick was delicious.
Yes, it was.
I'd say Saint Maximus. I think most of you know who he is. Signed him from Nice. Very good player, but I will have to give him this. He has to practice his finishing.
Yes, he does. Fantastic runs though.
No, he's
Bloody
got the
hell.
run.
That was
I
four times.
would compare him to an Alex Iwobi, right? When Alex Iwobi was at Arsenal, he had so many great runs.
Yeah,
He was getting a lot of space,
four
but
times.
could not finish.
4 times he got ahead of the defense with an overhead ball.
Yeah,
4
yeah,
times.
and he just kept fluffing it. And I
Yeah.
think if he scored at least one of those chances, Newcastle could have been 4-0 up.
Particularly the one when he was just through on goal and he's just.
Yeah,
When you talk about it's the comparison to Leicester City, you look at and Sheffield United, look at their finishing. You know, there's no messing around. It's going in the corner. You're not saving it. And St. Max, he's just giving the keeper a chance to save it. You know, he's just trying to be casual and just roll it in, and rather than just putting his foot right through and put it into the corner.
Even then he tries to be not selfish, but and kind of like roll it out, and even he misses it as well. It's dead simple, just to chip it over the keeper.
But he's a good player. He just needs to work on his finishing a wee bit.
yeah. That's what I was saying. He's making the runs like a wire done.
Now,
You know, he's doing everything right, but he needs to be more clinical because Newcastle are a team that have to also score goals. They scored 3 today, but they have to take their chances because they might not have done so well if it was different circumstances.
a chance that I wish had gone in was Shelley's on the outside of his foot, the curl right in.
Oh yeah,
I wish that had went in straight off the bar. Oh my god.
that was a kind of Lampard Gerrard-esque
It
shot.
was. It was
No.
absolutely beautiful.
That was like he kind of it was see when you watch a slow motion of it's the way the foot just touches the
I
middle
know,
of the ball
I know.
and the ball starts to spin and it just hits. That was a part of a highlight reel for sure. Like that was if that went in,
We're watching
lovely.
we're watching a Newcastle West Ham game. We're seeing more finesse in these games than we are in top teams. Oh,
Yep.
well.
Yep, that's what happens when big teams don't play well. That's what happens when you don't have players that are clinical. You spend money on players that are overrated and don't have the consistency. Other
Yeah.
players like Shelby, who's not the most consistent, but when he has a good game, he will
Oh, he's lethal.
dismantle teams. Yeah,
He's
Shelby,
dangerous.
product of the Liverpool academy. He was big.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, obviously, at that time left Liverpool class, but he's in a good wee position at the moment.
Yeah.
He's played for a good team, Newcastle. Whatever you say about them, wherever they are, they're a big team. In my opinion.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
Newcastle are
and-
sitting
and-
15th. They're not. They're at least not in relegation.
Yeah,
zone.
yeah, and he's in a great position there. He's one of the top men. So no, when he plays well,
Yeah.
he is going to score goals. He is going to get into that highlight reel. He's going to get those chances. So, no, I was happy with this. I was happy with this game.
Yeah.
No. Are
The
we ready?
main event.
Are we ready for the main event?
The
Tottenham,
main
Everton.
event. Here we
Although
go.
although only 1-1, a lot happened.
A lot happened. Well, can I just make a point that the first half was the worst half of football I've
Oh
ever
no, it was
watched.
so
It
boring.
was absolutely horrendous from both sides.
It was so
I
Rigby,
boring.
mean,
Rigby, Rigby.
but it,
This is the funny part. I actually wrote this down. One of the worst halves I've seen
good
in
man.
world of football.
Good.
Now,
Yeah, it was.
I'll ask the first point from the first half. Heung-min Son, pen or no pen?
No pen.
Not enough contact.
No.
I'm saying no pen on that.
Nope.
There's
I said there was no doubt there was contact, but there was not enough
There
to
was
give
not
a
enough.
penalty.
I was straight on Twitter after this game, and honestly, Twitter was exploding with pen.
As it does, because most teams, especially the fans at this rate, are fighting in Tottenham's corner.
Yeah.
It was not a penalty. I've seen a lot of people screaming, going, "Oh my god, it was a penalty!" Pundits as well, people who actually, unlike us, should know what the right decisions are. People who are experienced and have played football for 20 years. This was not a penalty.
However, what I will say, I'm not 100% sure because it's really, really.
It's tight.
First of all,
It's tight.
right, the original contact, yeah, that's fine. But he goes nowhere near the ball and he is fouling Son. He is. And it comes back to this thing of if you don't go down, you don't get it.
100%.
Oh, Son went down.
So it's very clumsy, but I just don't think
So,
it's clumsy enough to give the penalty. So yeah, I'm with both of you on that.
because you can, I see the ref's whole angle of it. Son's done
Uh-huh.
bits, and he's done the part where the Everton players fell, but he's not fouling him as such. He's just got his Son's just
Uh-huh.
left his leg behind, and he's just so happened that the Everton players finished his roll and he's got it stuck underneath.
Yeah. This was the part that I was wanting most to talk about. I think you was mostly want to talk about something else, but Iwobi with that pass that fell to Ali
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's for the goal.
for the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was lost for words. I didn't know if it fell to Ali or someone passed to Ali,
Who was
but
it?
that was horrendous.
Yeah,
Horrendous.
it's not a
Who
good
was
pass
it
at
aiming
all.
for? Honestly.
And fair play to Ali Ali, good drive into the box,
Yeah,
and it's a great finish.
100%. He took
No,
advantage. No,
it
fantastic
wasn't.
finish.
It wasn't your kind of.
But no, Amelia, you're spot on. It's poor from Iwobi. He just
See,
sort of gets caught in no man's land. I feel like he can't see a way forward, and he's just sort of tried to give it back to his teammate, and he's just horrendously misjudged it.
I'm going to try to say this in the best of ways. See the Ali goal. Obviously, the pass by him Iwobi obviously fell to Ali, but I think Ali still had a good bit to do for the goal.
He had a
He had
lot
to
to do.
shimmy past a good bit of few of the defenders to get that shot away and to score, get into the bottom corner. Still
Yeah.
a tough thing to do. Obviously, Iwobi's to blame for it, but Ali still a lot to do, and fair play to him.
Especially with all the criticism he's had. It was a massive
Yeah.
moment for him. Right. The biggest talking point though of this game,
This
Here we go, here we go,
Son,
here we go,
Son
here we
red
go.
cards.
Here we
Son's
go.
red card.
Jesus.
Now, we all kind of know which direction we're going with this because we've already mentioned it. We all seem to think that this is a bit harsh to get a red card. It's a horrible moment because he has not gone to injure him, but unfortunately, he does injure him. He does. I'm happy to say that it looks like the injury doesn't look as bad as it originally feared, and that the lad's gonna be okay. Um, but it's a horrible moment. You don't like to see it,
No.
and Son is absolutely distraught because he's just gone for the ball, and unfortunately, the lad's just clattered into is it Aurier?
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible moment. It really is. And he puts his hand up straight away to say, "Okay, I've caught him here." I just don't think it's a red card at all.
I think I'm going to disagree with you here, but not in the way you think we could disagree with you here. I think the Son tackle and all the things that happened with it was horrible by the way it went. It was not intentional. It was not intentional in any way. He
Well,
wasn't trying to injure, but it was still bad by what we've seen. But
Here's
I
here's
think
go on, let you finish your
I,
point.
I think it was a red because of what happened.
Yeah.
I think obviously I understand why the referee yellow at the start.
Yeah.
Obviously it was changed to red. If it
Yeah.
was a yellow, right, they stayed a yellow. I wouldn't have been mouthing off and saying a lot of stuff. But I do see why it was also being given as a red. It was horrible. All the build up to it, everything that happened, it warrants a red in my opinion. But I do feel for Son, by his reaction, I actually I didn't like watching the aftermath of it.
No.
Also the
Here
tackle
is the
itself.
what my point is though. Here is the clue why this is not a red card. Do you hear Goodison Park chanting off like you normally would?
No,
Absolutely no one in the ground is chanting that they want Youngman Son to go off for this challenge. They all see that it's a bit like in F1 when it's a racing incident. This just looks like to me two players are going for the ball. Son has fouled him, and unfortunately he's clapped into another opponent. And it's just unfortunate one of those things. I felt it was harsh to be a red
it,
card.
it's like a head-to-head kind of situation. Like
Yeah,
both players are going for the ball. They miss the ball, completely hit each other's head. Both players go down. You're not exactly give a red
yeah,
or yellow.
yeah,
It's bad place, wrong time,
yeah,
kind of thing. But it's different when it's a tackle to a head-to-head. If it was a
yeah,
head-to-head, I would have said sending off for yellow. But
yeah.
it's just different because of the tackle. Uh,
What's your thoughts, Stuart?
I totally understand the warranted red card for it, but I do feel really bad for Son. If
yeah.
It's one of those which you don't want to
just
see get a red card, but you do also see why he's been given it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure Son understands why he's been given a red card as well for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could see how supportive the Everton team were being to him as
Mhm.
well. Like there was
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
Coleman as the Everton captain, he went into the dressing room to consult him, talk to him,
Yeah.
like
Definitely.
like they did say in the pitch toss, went over to him as well. Will, he was a bit hysterical. They did go see him, check if he's all right,
Yeah.
and see if it was intentional, see if it was bad. It was. Would Everton players be going to consult the guy that done it? No.
exactly because you can
It shows that it was a very unfortunate situation,
you could
and it shows that Son,
I'm even
you
watching
know,
the highlights. The ref doesn't even want to give the red card.
yeah, but
He
in
knows
this
he
one,
has to.
Kind
he
of
has
has
to,
to.
he
Yeah.
has
The
to.
ref walked over and he was like, and he even goes, "I'm really sorry," and pulls out the red card.
Testament. Testament to Everton, though the way they
Testament,
handled it.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely. And they get I don't know how many other teams would have reacted the way that Everton did. So
Because you can see it
fair
wasn't
play to them.
intentional. It has been confirmed he's got a broken ankle though. That's
Yeah, but it's not as bad as he originally feared.
no. The pictures of it are horrific. I've just seen one, and
Yeah,
I
it's
just
not good.
about threw up. So for our viewers, if you have not seen the image, it will not be on the podcast. You will have to go look it
No,
up
100%.
yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, free at your own discretion to view. I've only seen it the once or twice, the replay of the replay.
I wouldn't be.
I've only seen it a couple of times. I don't watch it.
I don't want to see it again.
I actually discussed it with someone from work who's an Everton fan when it happened,
Yeah.
and even just hearing it described, or not described but told, it was uncomfortable to hear.
Yeah, no.
You don't want it to happen to a football. You don't want it also. The way Son got Son's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So it's a bit unfortunate.
Did you see straight after attack? He was like,
He
I did not
he
mean that.
he instantly owned up, put his
Yeah.
hand in his face. You can tell he was emotional. Even as soon he knew straight away.
Oh, he could.
He
Yeah.
knew straight away. He
Yeah.
probably got a bit of a clout on his leg himself and knew by the weight that it was hitting that, oh, wait a second
Yeah.
here, that was
No,
bad.
He's got Coleman hugging him. He's in tears. He's just distraught. No one wants that happening in a game of football. They're all friends, really. They all have their
Yeah.
rivalry, but
Okay,
they're
well,
all friends, really.
I think we should move on because I think we are just sort of repeating the same point, and rightly so. It's just an accident and whatnot. But Everton did get an equaliser in this game to break Tottenham hearts, and it was a big moment because Tottenham, this could have been a huge win for them that they really really needed. But
Mm-hmm.
great ball in and toss and great header, 1-1.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's how it finished.
Yeah,
great head.
yeah.
Awesome.
I knew it was the 97th minute that this was scored, but how much added to was it 102 minutes? Did this
Well,
game
obviously,
finish now?
well, yeah, a lot of added time, obviously with
Yeah,
the injury and whatnot, and
Yes.
rightly so.
Yeah,
I originally thought Calvert Lewin scored it.
So did
Oh,
I, because the game shows you him celebrating,
I know. They all
and
thought
then
it
it's
was,
him.
it's just like, no, Tosin got it.
yeah,
Even
definitely. Great
even
desire.
The sneaky
yeah,
little
even someone
shit.
goes even someone goes Calvin Lewin. They go no, tell us.
The sneaky little shit.
We'll be beeping that.
Oh, hey, you're supposed to be the person that sorts all that stuff out, Stuart.
That's why I'm the person that sorts this stuff out. I'll beep and
All right.
edit and everything. It's great.
See now, you've opened a wall for me.
No, there will be not. But so we've been recording for about an hour and a half now. We were possibly going to talk about the Scottish semi-finals, but we are really running out of time, I'm afraid.
It's not
Not that
necessary.
interesting.
No.
So unfortunately, we're not going to have time for that today.
If anyone who's watching wants my views on it, just drop me a message.
Yeah, you know who Miller is.
Yes, just drop me a wee message, we'll have a wee discussion, wee private chat.
All we need
Yeah.
to say is we look forward to the Rangers Celtic fixture on the 8th of December.
But just before we round up, we're gonna do my favorite game, team of the week. Who performed the best in all of the 10 games for match day 11?
Guess who I'm gonna
Miller,
do?
I'm gonna start with you.
Guess who I'm gonna do?
Go on.
Sheffield United.
Good shout.
Sheffield
Yep.
United.
Okay, Sheffield United. Stuart.
I might go with Newcastle on this.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
I might
Okay,
go with Newcastle on this.
Okay.
'Cause they
Wild
played-
card
they-
decision there.
However, although Watford lost, they still played a good game. No, not Watford. Sorry, wrong team.
You're
Wolves.
rubbish.
Wolves. Wrong team. Wolves.
Fair enough.
Although they drew, Wolves had a fantastic game. So I'm between Newcastle and Wolves.
I think I know who you're gonna say, Big Pip. On you go.
Oh, it's Liverpool. I'm sorry. Get lost. I don't care. I'm biased. It's Liverpool all day long.
You also have a good point. This is true. I was also going to say. I was going to say Bournemouth in some sense.
Who?
Bournemouth had a really
Yeah, Bournemouth had a good
yeah.
game.
There's quite a few contenders.
There's
I
a few
don't think we're gonna
contenders,
find an all right winner because I'm not gonna back down. I doubt Miller's gonna back down, and neither is Stuart. So we'll just say that everybody's a winner today.
Woo!
Well, unless you're Aston Villa, West Ham, Southampton.
Well, at,
any
well,
of
well,
these
well,
teams.
at this time of recording, it's about 10:30. So everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner. 'Cause
After
we can't be
having-
bothered
yeah.
arguing about this. It's 25 to
No.
11 at night.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think
well,
we're gonna have to end it there.
Now,
well, as this week's presenter of the show, I would like to
Mhm.
say thank you everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed the content, and we will catch you all next week. Line of fixtures, and if you want to leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to our YouTube as well. Be appreciated, and everyone have a good week.
Take care.
see ya.